Wow, look at this big old shed. It's a big rat snake. You gotta make sure you stay hydrated out here, especially if it's close to 100 degrees. I've only been out here probably about an hour, and I'm feeling it. So stay hydrated out there. You don't want to be one of those people they have to come find you. It's gonna be like my second part of beginning and prepping for hunting season. Bow season, archery season opens up next week. And I have a few cameras out, and I'm gonna check the one that I've had luck at. Last year I had 3 decent sized buck and 1 giant buck. And I left my camera out there after the general season was open. I think 2 or 3 of the bucks I didn't have on camera anymore. I still had the giant one. He was still staying in that area. I still haven't found his sheds, but I did find the shed of the second good sized buck out here. So I'm gonna check the camera, see if they're still here, see if I have any does. But I'm just hiking through the woods, and mostly if you're hunting public land, there's a lot of scouting involved. You're gonna have to find game trails. You're gonna have to, because during the summertime, deer have their own little area they stay in. Once fall starts going around and rut starts going around, they start moving. So where you have them on camera in the summertime is usually not where they're going to be during the fall. It's definitely during hunt season, especially when the bucks go in rut. You'll have 1 week you'll have a deer. Once they kick in rut, you could probably have 3 or 4 different deer on your camera that you haven't seen all year. It's just a lot of scouting, a lot of areas you're just gonna have to go over, and a lot of miles you're gonna have to walk. It's not like just throwing the tree stand up or a ground set up and just praying to get lucky. You might have success doing that, but you might be setting yourself up for failure. So we're gonna go check one of the cameras and do a little scouting and do a little hiking today and see if I can find any more sets. Because I want a morning set and I want an evening set. And I think I have one spot I have locked down for my morning, and I think I have a second spot that I saw last year. I saw a lot of scrapes and I saw a lot of activity, but I never sat there for a couple hours. So we're gonna see how it goes. Y'all stay tuned. Everything is still green, but that little rain we had still wasn't enough. You can see a lot of the flowers and a lot of the leaves are still wilting, but it's not as dry as it was. We've had 2-3 weeks of cooler weather, but this week it was like 97, 95, 97. But we're supposed to have a cold front next week. It's supposed to be the high in the 80s and the lows in the 50s. So I think that's gonna do us some good. And hopefully we're kind of past the hottest part of the year, which I think we might, but we have had 9-degree days in November. Hopefully all the heat is behind us now. That's another thing, is if you're hunting in the south, you can get miserable, especially October and November, because either it can be really hot, stifling hot, or it can be really cold, and you can have that the same day. All you gotta do is just prepare. Look at your weather apps, watch the news, see if you have any rain coming in, especially where there's a wind coming from. Because if you're wanting to hunt in a certain direction, but your scent is blowing in that area, you might not see anything all day. Or if you do see something, they might be so timid that you might not even be able to get a shot off. Yep, we're just just hiking through the woods, seeing if we can be able to see anything on this camera. If not, I got 10 days left. Tick number 1 of the day. Look at him. Look at this little guy. It's been so hot out here that They've been a lot desperate. I've never ever have gotten this many ticks out here before. I average like 13 or 14 of them every time I come out here. It's very trippy. I guess because it's been so hot. They're hanging low, especially on stuff like this. Anytime you walk by something like this or any type of brush, you have a high possibility of having a tick hitch a ride with you. So hopefully I don't get too many of them, because I don't like pulling them off me, especially when there's like 4 or 5 or 6 of them lodged on you. And last year I had a bite pretty bad that got infected, so I don't want to go through that again. So just having to keep my eyes out for them, and that's something you have to look out for, especially Lone Star ticks. You can get a few diseases that you ain't gonna want to get, because they're life-changing if you get them. Wow, look at this big old shed. It's a big rat snake. Well, that's pretty cool. Probably a couple weeks old, because it's all falling apart. It's pretty nifty. I'm almost to my camera, so we're gonna see what we got. Alright, we're making our way to my camera now. There she goes. I'm gonna go ahead and get the computer set up and see what we got. So, sitting here checking my camera, the only buck I have is he's gonna be hard to see. I might have to put him on. Yeah, there he goes. He's right at it. If he's legal or not. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I think if he is, he's just barely legal. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera back up, delete everything off of the camera so I have a fresh start, and I'll go ahead and put these photos like in the video. So in between this and the next scene, I'll have the photos there. I have some so I went ahead and put in a mock scrape. It's a little drip. It's gonna drip into this little mock scrape, and I'm gonna see if I can continue to see if I can keep that buck in this area or draw another one. There's my mock scrape, and my camera's right there. So we'll see how that goes. At least I had one buck that, if he ain't legal yet, I'm gonna zoom in. I think he was like 12 and a half, to be honest with you. But that's a good sign. At least I have a small, probably a 2-year-old 10 point, which is, if he survives the season, he'll be a decent sized buck for next year. And hopefully he'll pass on his genetics. Because it seems like all the bucks I've had on camera this year or last year were 10 points. Now all of them were legal, but that one was a giant. I would say at least 21-inch spread. He was a big boy, and his body, I would say he was over 200 pounds. So hopefully I can get him back on camera. For poops and giggles, I bought them for $1. I have a bunch of them. I know it's really early, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put one of these out here just to see if I can draw in some stuff. These little buck pugs. We're just gonna loop it around over here, and I'm just hopefully it's gonna give me more activity on my camera so I can see what I'm working with, and I don't mind wasting one of them when I have like 50 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one out. I'm in a package of 3, and there's just these little bitty gelatins with a piece of twine in them, and the package comes in 3 of them. So I put one there, I'll put one around the bend, and I'm gonna try to put one like over in that area. So if any deer in any direction, any bucks, I'll get curious, and hopefully they'll get by where my camera's at. That's the theory, because you can't bait, you can't put anything they can ingest down. So that means salt licks, mineral licks, corn. The only thing you can use is attractants. So I'm gonna go ahead and just see if I can get this area There's my mock scrape right there, my little licking thing, and there's my dripper, and hopefully it does me some good. I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these pucks right here. Go ahead. We got a dirt bite coming by right now. There we go. We got one right there, so I got 3 of them out. And hopefully it does us some good, which it's not gonna do anything that hurts. It's not like I spent much money on this. I got this from Tractor Supply on the off season, and all this stuff was like $1. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here before I freak these people out and get out of the woods. Yeah, after looking at that picture more closely, he's not legal. He's about 11 and a half, 12, maybe 12 and a half. But that's not bad with genetics for a little 2-year-old, maybe a 2.5-year-old buck. He looks to be about a 10-pointer. So he'll be a banger next year and the year after that if he can make it through the influx of new hunters this year. Because I have a bad feeling someone's going to kill him. Or he might just be barely 13. I wouldn't personally put an arrow at him. That's too much of a risk. But hopefully the little attractants I put up kind of draw in all the deer in that area to kind of, not to be excited, but kind of, this, I put that out there to kind of confuse them. Not much the buck scrape because they're already scraping, but the doe and estuarine, hopefully with it being a weird summer, a hot summer, because that sometimes does make animals do weird things. Hopefully it'll confuse one of them to come at least check it out. That'd be pretty cool. See if that one deer's still alive. Because I know one of the deer last year that I wanted to take was hit by a car. I know that for a fact because he was on the side of the road. But the big giant one survived because he was on my camera about May. But I haven't seen him since. So he looked to be a 5 or 6 year old buck, so he might have died. It was a very harsh summer. I wonder if there's any scorpions. Let's go ahead and see if we can see a scorpion here. Nope. Look at all them pine beetles. My God, look at them all. Yep, that's what kills all the trees out here. All these pine beetles. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out my second spot, drop off some of my equipment, and go across the road and see if we can find any sheds or any scrapes or any sign. To this, I believe is the spot I found. You have all this underbrush, and you have this thick part with a trail, a game trail. It starts running. And last year, when I was here, there was 3 or 4 scrapes. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna open my phone. Oh, we have all sorts of sign here. Armadillo. There's a game trail. We're gonna go ahead and open my phone up. We're gonna go to my OnX, and we're gonna see if this is the spot I marked. I haven't even looked at it yet. Okay, so we have my OnX. We'll go ahead and open it up. And we'll exit this out. Alright, we'll go ahead. Yes, this is the same as that spot. Now we're about 100 yards off. But there you can see the little triangle that I have. So we're gonna go ahead, mark that where we're at. We'll add waypoint. We'll put an arrow. See, now that we have, and either I can come in the way I did come in, or I can, when I leave, I can walk through the woods and get an actual trail, so I don't have to cross the creek or anything like that. But go ahead. I'm probably gonna either use that tree right there, this tree. Get in there! Or one of these trees, especially probably that one back there because it has cover. And I don't know if I'm gonna hunt this in the morning or this will be an afternoon spot. But I'm gonna get my stand in here probably next Friday. And we'll go ahead and hunt this either in the morning or in the afternoon. So I won't be pressuring. And if the wind's bad on one and it's better on the other, I'll flip flop. I'm gonna hunt these. But I definitely want the wind to be coming behind me right here. Because more likely they're gonna be coming out from this area in the morning and they'll be coming this way in the afternoon. Because that's how I noticed last time I was out here. In the morning time I was busting them because I was coming in from here and they were smelling me. In the afternoon I would bust them because they would be over there. So I have 2 spots. I have actually 4 spots, but I haven't even been to the other one yet because that one's about 1.5 miles in, when this one's only, I think, less than 1 mile. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the buck pug up and I'm gonna go ahead and make my way out. I just gotta figure out where to put it next. Get in there! So I got one of the pugs right there. And put a couple, and put one behind me. Put it right there. We'll do one in front of me. My backpack. Go ahead and put this one right there. So we got 3 of them out. I'm gonna go ahead and find the other way from the trail to get here. I'm gonna add a waypoint on my thing on Onyx so I can get in here easier instead of crossing the creek twice. Let's see how it goes. We got a little buck skull, probably from last year. Pretty cool. Well, that's a good sign. Not very old. Look at those teeth. Small head too. And I found some of his bones right here. Here's one of his vertebrae. The vertebrae. Go ahead, we'll put that back. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna continue to make my way out of here. Okay, I made it back to the trail, and from my potential setup to the trail, 286 yards. It's not too bad. And we're gonna go ahead and save. And we're gonna start how long of a trek it is to where my car is gonna be at, or my truck. I'm thinking that's another maybe 400 yards, 500 yards, maybe more, but it's in that ballpark. And they had to take the bridge down, looks like. There was a little wooden bridge right here. I guess they just went with a culvert and some rocks, which sucks. Yeah, the water's stagnant. But the good thing about it, we were in a drought, and so water is a very high commodity in both, especially this spot. I'm gonna hunt by water this year until we get a bunch of rain. Then it don't really matter, but you always want to find the limited resources that the animal that you're hunting depends on, and all animals depend on water And I'm not hunting by the lake, so water's more of a commodity right here. And that creek has just enough flowing water that I guarantee a lot of animals are using it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my way back to the car, and we're gonna see how far of a walk it is. I'm thinking it's gonna be about half a mile in total, but I could be wrong. We'll go ahead and make our way back. So to my car front door is 615 yards, plus almost 300 yards. So we're looking at a little under half a mile to get. So that's not too bad. It's not bad at all. So I hope you enjoyed the video and the day in the life of how to prepare, especially for hunting national forests and stuff like that. Anything that's WMA, wildlife management areas. There's just a lot of scouting involved and a lot of things you need to do to give your chance the ability for the whole entire season to be successful. So the more you put boots on the ground, the higher your success rate is going to be. So hope you enjoyed the video. This is going to be a very ongoing thing, especially all the way up to probably the end of December. I'm going to be out here a lot because it's the only place to have the hunt this year. So I'm going to make it work. Y'all stay safe out there. Hopefully y'all getting out in nature, just enjoying life, because at a moment's notice it can be taken away. And I haven't been outside, and especially haven't been in the woods in a few weeks now, and in my psyche I'm starting to feel it. So y'all stay safe out there. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful night. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. More future content is coming through the pipeline.